Hey, I'm Louie from Louie's Loops, and I'm doing No Shave November, so my face is crazy itchy right now. So you're watching a kind of behind-the-scenes video of me making a Yarnimation, or kind of like a stop-motion video, but only using yarn and fabric. We're making a Yarnimation for Nintendo's new game, Yoshi's Woolly World, a new Yoshi game where everything is crocheted and knit. Last episode we talked about character design and how I designed the characters, and we talked about a few different ideas for how to make them for the video. Now really quick before we move on, I wanted to show you the guys that I made so far using what we did in the last video. So here's a little Koopa, and I made their legs and arms out of pipe cleaners wrapped in yarn. This guy took me like 4 hours to make, which means that it's gonna take a really long time to make like 9 of them that we need for the video. And here's the best one. Here's Yoshi. I crocheted the arms. In the last video we talked about how I was going to use snaps. That didn't really work out, so I did pipe cleaners and I crocheted them so like their arms and legs, like I can move them like however I want them to look, which will be good for animating. And then I used these cool little oval beads for the eyes. And I'll be adding these guys and the patterns for how to make them, if you know how to crochet, in the on my Etsy page, link in the description or somewhere around here. Alright, let's move on. So in this video we're going to be talking about how to make our sets and our backgrounds and the floor and stuff like that. I'm really stoked about this because in Nintendo games, at least for the most part, the background moves but our characters don't. This means that we're going to have to make some kind of contraption like a conveyor belt that makes the background move while our characters can stay in place. I thought up this idea of using a piece of 2x4 and some wooden dowels and a couple of PVC pipes. So I bought our materials and I made it last night, and this is a time lapse of me making it. I also added a piece of styrofoam in the center, and I'm not totally sure if this is going to work, but what I'm thinking is I can use that along with a few thin needles to make our characters look like they're jumping. This should also add some sturdiness to our background, I think, so it's not too loose. For the background itself, I'm using a bunch of felt that I got at a craft store, and I'm gonna glue or sew on our background and then sew it all together and fit it just around our PVC pipes so that it kind of will spin around. I was playing Yoshi's Woolly World yesterday and I noticed that in a few levels the floor is made out of a bunch of granny squares. So I found some of these little cardboard boxes while I was getting the felt, and what I was thinking was I'll cover them in felt and super glue it around or something, and then I'll put a granny square on the top. This I think will look more like the ground from Super Mario World, and also will let us put little needles into the cardboard if the background thing, styrofoam stuff, doesn't work out the way we want it, so that our Yoshi and Koopa can look like they're running. We also need to make a few pipes, which I think would be best crocheted, and some question mark blocks and some of those little turny block things. I think what I'll do for that is to make the blocks out of pieces of mesh plastic and embroider them in yarn. That or just made out of felt might be the easiest way. For the lighting and whatnot, I'm using this neat light box I got online for 60 bucks. I have some lights rigged up and it comes with a few too. But this is pretty cool because it maintains a consistent light so that the lighting doesn't get all wonky while we film, which is something that I've had trouble with in the past. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll be posting all my progress while I make this on my social media, so follow me at Louie's Loops on Twitter and Instagram and stuff. Also, these videos take a bunch of work to do alone, so if you like them, please like and subscribe down below. And if you really want to be my best friend ever, please check me out on Patreon at patreon.com/LouisLoops if you want to support these videos. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next week when we actually start filming. Thanks for watching again, guys. You can check out the last video in the corner up here, and if you really want to check me out on Patreon, there's a link on the top right. Yeah. Okay, bye!